All right. Well, welcome everybody to another episode of Kim's Corner. And I am so excited to be joined by Randy Smoot. He's a founder and director of Oakmont Education. And I am so excited to talk to him. Randy, you and I know each other from 50 Can. That's where I first was introduced to you and your amazing work. And I am so thankful for your saying yes to coming on the podcast so we can talk about the amazing things that you are doing. Let me give you a minute to introduce yourself, and then we're just going to have a great conversation about all that you're doing.
No, I appreciate that, and thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be on the show. I really look forward to this conversation. It was great meeting you and spending the year in the 50 Can Fellowship, just learning so much about what you're doing and what the other fellows are doing in the education space across the country. So, and like you said, my name is Randy Smoot. I'm the executive director for Oakmont Education. We are a series of dropout recovery and prevention high schools in Ohio. We actually just expanded to Iowa and to Michigan. So we have two schools in those two states. Really looking forward to being able to take our show on the road, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are a dropout recovery and prevention high school specializing in career technical education.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Very unique in that we service students from ages 15 to 22. So
Wow.
we have students who are in the traditional age of high school, who
Mm-hmm.
maybe are disengaged or they just for some reason their traditional high schools just didn't work for them,
Yeah.
to students who are adult learners or who were former dropouts and just want to get back into school. And then the unique part of us, obviously, is that we really focus on career technical education, understanding
Mm-hmm.
that our students in today's economy, they have to have some skills, right? They have to
Yeah,
have
for
something that's
sure.
going to separate them from everybody else. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
really excited about the work that we're doing. We're making a huge difference in Ohio and in Iowa, and this is our first year in Michigan. Just give you an idea, we graduated 1,100 students last year. And
Wow.
you're talking about students who, for whatever the reason, they had given up on high school. Um,
Wow.
so it's just really, really cool to be able to fill that gap that we know exists and be able to continue to offer those opportunities for those students and those
I
families.
love it. And I wanted us to get really in deep on some of that. I would
Sure.
love for you to share your origin. Like, what happened? There's always an origin story, right? You know, we talk about Marvel and those origin stories,
No,
but
it
what is your origin story for how Oakmont Education came to be? What was the impetus there?
so my personal origin and Oakmont's origin are going
Mm-hmm.
to be two completely different things. So
Okay, well, let's start
obviously,
with you, and then let's go into Oakmont too, because honestly, to me, I'm like, it was created by you, and there's had to have been something in you that was like, okay, this is what we need. So let's hear about you personally, and then let's move into the origin of Oakmont, please.
okay, for sure. And just sort of just for just a quick point of clarification. So
Mhm.
Oakmont existed. So I wasn't the founder of Oakmont.
Oh,
Ironically, Oakmont found me, and the story will make sense. The
oh,
story will make sense.
okay.
So like in my trade and in my background is actually in logistics and supply chain. When I started my career as a supply chain manager with Target. And
Wow.
I spent 11 years in a warehouse
Okay.
and I learned how to run a business and I learned how to run logistics and supply chain and how to run teams and all those things. And quite frankly, it just wasn't what my background was, but
Mm,
I did it and I did it well. And I didn't know what it was leading me to, but I figured I would just trust God and I would move on.
mhm.
And so then as time went on and I went through some different iterations of my career, I eventually found myself in the juvenile court. So I went back
Wow.
home. It's a long story about some things that drove me to go and try to provide some of my own skills to my hometown
Hmm.
of Springfield, Ohio, which we're in
Hmm.
the news right now. Um,
Yes.
but Springfield, Ohio, there was a lot of things going on with our kids, and so I went home and I accepted a position in the juvenile court. I was a juvenile
Wow.
probation officer, um, ironically in the truancy department. So for whatever
Okay.
the reason was, I was learning about school and truancy and
Hmm.
all the things that were preventing students from really getting really good, robust educations and what was making
Hmm.
them drop out of school.
Yeah.
Um, and what I found was that my students that I had on my casebook were just disengaged. They didn't like
Right.
school. They had no reason to be there. They were not making the connections. And so
Mm-hmm.
what I did was I partnered with this school that was local to Springfield, that
Mm-hmm.
was a dropout recovery and prevention high school,
Wow.
to figure out a way to get my students to go there to do their career tech program.
Mm-hmm.
It was Cliff Park High School, which I will be come to this story here in a little bit. So when I reached out to them and said, "Hey, I have this group of students who they're not going to finish school. Like they're just
Right.
not. They're in jail. They're getting
Mm.
out of jail. They need something." And the person who I talked to about it goes, "Yeah, we think this would be a really good spot for your students, but why don't you come and run the school?" And I'm like, "Well,
What?
what are you talking about? I've never run a school. What are you talking about?" And like, I think you could run a school. And so I actually accepted a position. And this was the first year of this organization
Mm-hmm.
in a neighboring city, Dayton, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
where Liberty High School was my first school. And
Wow.
I took over Liberty High School. There was 120 students at the time. And before I left Liberty, we had grown to 375 students in 2 years. Um,
Wow.
we completely changed our state reporting grade card. We went from a needs improvement to an exceeds expectations on our grade card in
Wow.
2 years.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and so then to bring the whole story home, I got a call from the organization saying, "Hey, you did such a great job in Dayton. Are you willing to go to Springfield and do the same thing at the school that this whole thing started from?" So where I met with Cliff
Wow.
Park High School to try to get my students, I went back and took over Cliff Park and had the same success where we were able to essentially double the enrollment. We
Mm-hmm.
were school of the year. We were exceeds expectations on the report card. And that brought me to the position I am in now, where I am now the executive director for all of our schools in the South, essentially trying to go and replicate the success that we had in those two markets and bring those opportunities to more students in more areas,
Yeah.
in more cities. And so now I'm up to 9 schools in my area, plus the schools in Iowa and Michigan. So,
That's
um, and
beautiful.
so then with Oakmont, particularly,
Mm-hmm.
Oakmont existed, right? And they existed in these markets. That now I'm able to take Oakmont's mission, which is providing this sort of quality education with this career tech focus to as
Mm-hmm.
many communities as we can.
Wow. So what's the secret sauce? Because that kind of success, right, does not happen in a vacuum. It
Yes.
doesn't. What tell if you were to say these are the things that we were able to do that enables us to see the level of success that we were able to see with these kids. What give us that? Because I
I'll
think
give
that
you a
what you're doing is
couple.
so important and it's so needed and you're hitting a community that is so I think marginalized sometimes. And you're meeting that need in spectacular ways. And it's not just, oh, I'm just getting by. You're having incredible, and we're going to talk about this incredible success because I want you to share some of those stories. But tell me what you think that secret sauce is.
There's a couple of things, and I'm so happy
Hmm.
you asked that question because the first thing is understanding who our students are,
Hmm.
in all aspects of them in their lives, not just their education, but their lives, their values, their goals. We have to know who our students are, and we have to be able to meet them exactly where they are. We have to care enough about them to be able to meet them exactly where they are, them and their families. And then we also have to make sure that we are being true to our own brand promises, right?
Hmm.
If our brand promise as an organization is to be a refuge for our students, then we have to always be a refuge for our students.
Yeah.
If our brand promise is to make sure that we're going to provide a robust educational opportunity with career technical education, then we
Hmm.
have to do that with fidelity every single day. We cannot compromise on those promises. And that's one of the things that we do. We stay very
Hmm.
consistent in what it is that we provide our students and that we provide our families. But then
Hmm.
here's the other part, and this is probably the biggest secret to the sauce.
Hmm.
You have to go out and find people who share your mission and your vision,
Yeah.
who are willing to come in and give of themselves to your students and to your families.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in the mission, if you don't believe in the movement, if you don't believe in the culture, it's going to be very hard for you to
Hmm.
maintain the level of excellence day after day, week after week, year after year that these students require, that they
Hmm.
deserve. And so you have to be flexible
Hmm.
about who it is that you hire. I mean, my story is a testament of that. If
Yeah.
you look at me and say, hey, we need someone to run a school, and it has to be a traditional educator.
Right.
You never get me, right?
Right, right.
That's not
But I
me,
think
right?
that's what
So,
makes you so unique and so what makes it work, right?
and that's what makes it work for the schools because
Mm-hmm.
students get to look at me and I get to say to them, I was you. Listen
Mm-hmm.
to my story. Listen to how I got here. And it brings a
Mm-hmm.
level of authenticity to the conversation.
Right.
Um, no one's expected to be perfect. I don't expect my students to be perfect. They don't expect me to
Mm-hmm.
be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But that type of authenticity amongst ourselves helps us to really drive this mission for our students. And then they believe in us. And then
Mm-hmm.
we continue to make sure that they know that they can't exhaust us, right? We will always be here for them.
Mm-hmm.
We will always be a refuge for them. And even if they drop off, they can come back. Like we are
Yeah.
never going to
Oh,
shut the
that's
doors on
so
them.
good.
And
That's so good.
and it's just shown that those students they believe in us and they trust us, and we take that
Mm-hmm.
trust very seriously. And that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with the people. Kim. It really does. It starts with the
Yeah.
people who we have in our organizations. So that to me would be really that what that secret sauce is.
I love it. And as you're talking, there's a part of me that says, I want to know what that actually looks like. What does it look like when we're saying we're being a refuge? What does it look like when we're saying we're coming in into your world? What does that like what does that look like?
That's a great question,
Mm-hmm.
and one the first thing is we are very flexible with our schedule, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we know that 7:30 in the morning just simply doesn't work for everybody. Now, if you are
Right.
coming from middle school or you're coming from a traditional high school, you may have the cadence of going to school at 7:30. But what
Mm-hmm.
if you're 21 years old and you got a kid and
Right.
you got to get your kid to school potentially,
Right.
or you got a first shift job? I would never tell you to compromise your employment in order to come to school at 7:30. So how about you come at noon? 'Cause I'm gonna have two sessions for you. You can come in the
Mm-hmm.
morning, you can come in the afternoon. You want to do some work online and do it at home? That's perfectly fine too.
Wow.
Because whatever I have to do to help you be successful, that's what I'm going to do. Or take it a step further. There's plenty of times when, quite frankly, we have no clue what these kids have gone through the night before. They leave
Right.
us, Kim, at noon. They come back at
Wow.
7:30. They could have very well gone through a whole life worth of things in those 16 hours.
Right.
So what happens when that kid comes in at 7:30 and all they want to do is sleep? You know what I'm
Mm.
going to do? I'm going to find that kid a safe space to go sleep.
Wow.
Because for whatever happened over the course of that 16 hours, something happened there where that student didn't get any rest. But
Right.
yet that student felt it was safe enough to leave their environment and come to my school and say, Mr. Smoot, I'm really sleepy. You know what? Let me go get you something to eat. Let me find you a place to sleep.
Wow.
Because eventually we're going to create enough sacred time and space for you that you're going to learn. You're going to get your
Right.
lessons. You're going to get because you're resilient. But
Mm.
right now, right in this moment, what you need is some rest, right?
I love
And
that.
that's what we're going to do for you. And it's
I
that
love
type of
that.
thing in every aspect of our organization, right? It's so, if you need clothes, we're going to put you with an organization that will get you clothes. We have what's called a
Wow.
family advocate in every single one of our schools. That
Wow.
person's job is literally just to remove barriers for our students. We have
Wow.
what's called a placement specialist. Their job
Hmm.
is only to get the kids jobs, to teach the kids how to do resumes, to teach the kids how to be interview ready.
Hmm.
Those are the type of things where whatever it is that barrier is for you,
Hmm.
we want to make sure we have somebody who's available to help you get over it. And that's what I mean by whatever it takes.
Wow.
Um, and we are committed to that. And when we talked a little bit earlier about
Hmm.
we have to be committed to our brand promise, those are the things that if you go to any one of our 22 schools, you're
Right.
going to experience that same thing at every single one of them. It's who
I
we
love it.
are and it's
I
what
love
we're
it.
about. And it's a non-negotiable.
Right. Right. I love that. Tell me because I hear this and I'm thinking, what are the partnerships? Have you had to form partnerships with people to make some of this happen? And can you talk about that to bring
Yeah.
these pieces together?
That's a great question. And our biggest partnership
Hmm.
is our community. And it's the informal yet formal partnership that we have with our community. Everything we do, the community is welcome. You want to just
Wow.
come in and you want to take a tour, you want to come in and use our space for meetings, whatever it is that
Hmm.
we need to do in order to ingratiate ourselves into our community. That's what we're
Hmm.
going to do. Let me give you a quick example.
Sure.
In Springfield, my hometown, um, there was um, there was a haunted house, and it was very popular, but it was expensive. And
Mm.
so our students, for whatever the reason, were just unable to be a part of this haunted house.
Oh,
So what did Cliff Park do? Cliff Park created our own haunted house, where
yeah,
we transformed our school into a haunted house.
I
And
love it.
and we open it up to the public, and there's always this thing in the back of your mind where you go,
Mm-hmm.
will they accept us? Will this be good
Mm-hmm.
enough? Kim,
Mm-hmm.
the line was down the street. The line was down the street. And we made it bigger and bigger every single year because we want to make sure that the community knows we are here for you. We're part of
Yeah.
this, and you have access to it. But so that's the biggest one. It's a community partnership.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have some very formal partnerships with local
Mm-hmm.
industry, the local school districts. When it works really well, our
Mm-hmm.
local school districts are partners with us because, quite
Wow.
frankly, not every student is a student for that district, right?
Right.
What we provide is very niche in that it doesn't work for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but if it works for these particular students and you
Mm-hmm.
send them to us, we can help them. And so when we have really strong partnerships with our local school districts,
Mm-hmm.
it works amazingly. We have a
Wow.
school in Hamilton, Ohio, close to Cincinnati,
Mm-hmm.
where they actually called us and said,
Wow.
hey, can you guys bring a school to our community so that you can help these kids who are dropping out? And so
Wow.
that partnership is incredible. And then I think lastly is the partnership with the social services,
Mm-hmm.
your Department of Job and Family Services,
Yeah.
your juvenile courts, any of the social services. We invite them into our schools. Come in, have an office, come and do
Mm-hmm.
PD, like whatever it is, because quite frankly, we can connect our students to the resources,
Mm-hmm.
but those folks have the resources,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
when they know that they have a space with us and that they
Mm-hmm.
have an ear, and when they need something, they can come to us and vice versa. Those partnerships have been incredible. And then, I'm in a state in Ohio
Mm-hmm.
that is pretty friendly to dropout recovery and
Mm-hmm.
charter schools. And
Mm-hmm.
so the continued legislation that continues to get passed to make it easier for us to be able to serve our students, that's a
Yes.
partnership. Granted, it's an informal partnership, but
Right,
that's
right,
a
right.
partnership that is huge for us because we
Oh.
don't have to go up against lots of barriers
Mm-hmm.
that will prevent us from removing barriers from our students.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Can you share with us some of your success stories? Because I know you've got a bunch of them. You've got a bunch of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please. And this is because we want to celebrate. We want to celebrate what you're doing. So please, yeah.
So, and I don't want to go like super statistics on you
It's
because,
okay.
quite
No, I'm
frankly,
like, bring the stats
um,
too. Because I think there's some people that are going to listen to this and go like, okay, that's great, but show me some numbers. And I would
and
love
I
to have
will.
that. Yeah.
Yep. So, like I said before, we graduated 1,100 students last year, which
Beautiful.
was our record number. We'll do probably close to 1,200 this year. We
Wow.
have over 5,500 students in our network of schools, and so
Wow.
these are former dropouts or students who had disengaged. 5,500
That's
currently. We'll
incredible.
probably add another 500 before the end of the year.
That's
We
incredible.
have a 85% placement rate. So
Mm,
with our students as they graduate, we are placing 85% of them into a job or into the military or into college.
I love it.
85%.
That's fantastic.
That's an incredible number, and it's because of
Mm,
the intentionality of what we do. When you
hmm.
are ready to graduate, we want to make sure that you walk into your career, you walk into the service, or you walk into college, and we're very intentional
Yeah.
about that. We really make sure that all of our students are graduating with some sort of career technical education
Hmm.
certification. Kim, 97% of our students graduate with some sort of career tech certification.
Yes.
That
That's
is an incredible
fantastic.
thing. And it is intentional.
Yeah.
The first thing you do when you come in, we're going to give you a tour. We're going to show you everything we have to offer. And then we're going to ask
Hmm.
you, what are you interested in?
Yeah.
What's going to make you successful? And then
Hmm.
we try to align those things.
Hmm.
So it's an incredible thing for us to be able to do for these students. But I want to give you more of an anecdotal story.
Yes. Yes. Love it.
I had a young man come to me, and so there's a certain thing you have to be able to, like, you have to have a certain number of credits you have to have in order to be in one of our career tech programs. And here's the
Okay.
reason why. Because we want to make sure that as you are getting your certification, you're graduating at the same time. Because what we
Hmm.
don't want to do is create other dropouts by having you have your certification and then you don't graduate from high school. So we're
Mm,
very intentional about how we basically position those two things.
hmm.
Everybody will get a chance to do it, but we just have to be very careful.
Hmm.
Well, this young man came to me and he was 20 years old and
Mm.
he was done. He was like, I have a single credit. I don't think that I can do this. Someone told me to come and talk to you.
Wow.
So I told him that I would, but I know there's nothing you can do for me. I
Wow.
said, if you're willing to do it, if you're willing to dig in and trust me, we're going to walk this thing through from now to the end of the school year. One credit, and you need
He
20 in your
literally
mind.
had one credit.
One single credit,
One.
one, and
That's
you need 20 in the state of Ohio.
right. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say Maryland, you need 21. That's incredible. Wow.
From that day, he trusted us, and he we put him on a schedule. We put him in the career tech pathway that he wanted.
Hmm.
Every single day of his school year was specific and intentional. We
Hmm.
put him in construction so that he can get his trade, so that he can
Hmm.
get his credit flex. We had the exact classes that he needed, the exact timing that he needed. When
Hmm.
he didn't come to school one day, I was calling him. If he didn't come to school 2 straight
Hmm.
days, I was pulling up. Like
Hmm.
I was pulling
Wow.
up
I love it.
and like, yo, we got to come back because you promised me if I did this, if I put you in this, that you would
Hmm.
do this for me. And he said, you know, you're absolutely right. We
Yeah.
brought him in. Kim, the night before graduation, he and myself and another one of my staff members was in our building until 11:30 at night, finishing his last class. And he walked across the graduation stage the next day. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. And I tell this story
That's
as much as I
incredible.
can, and yet it still gives me goosebumps.
Yeah,
This
of
young man was
course.
a
Me
pillar of
too.
resilience.
Mm.
His resilience and then his trust in us, because
Yeah.
quite frankly, in his mind, it made more sense for him
Hmm.
to just say, forget school, let me
Right.
go off and do my thing. And the fact
Right.
that he trusted us enough to do this with us and then walk across that graduation stage. And I still talk to him to this day. He's doing
Wow.
phenomenal, by the way.
Wow.
And that's the type of thing that we're able to do in this space. That's
Yeah.
the type of thing that we're able to be so flexible and so intentional with every
Hmm.
single step of the way with our
Hmm.
students that we can have those type of results.
I love it. I love it. And one of the things that one of the things from the get-go, when you were talking about technical and career paths and equipping these kids so that they have skills and they are completely marketable, I think that in and of itself is so huge because I think so many times we just think, oh, high school means the next step is college. And, but you're saying not always so. And you're recognizing the need that we as a society have for just the trades. I mean, you think about it, those to me, those are the jobs that are recession proof, that are everything proof, because
And,
everybody
and,
needs
and
that. Hmm.
it's interesting how we found that out even more. And
Okay.
it was through COVID. When COVID happened,
Yes.
and we were like, okay, we got to get these kids high school diplomas. We got to get these kids high school diplomas. And
Hmm.
they were having to go out and compete with people with degrees,
Hmm.
bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and we
Hmm.
realized immediately, oh, this isn't enough. It's
Right.
not enough to send them into the world with just their high school diploma. We have
Right.
to actually position them for their future. And then we started to realize the trades is the ticket. Not all
Yeah.
kids are going to go to college, and not all kids are going to go to the military. Let's make sure that we at least get them the trades. But then here's the kicker for Oakmont Education. This is why
Hmm.
I think this organization is just so phenomenal. We don't just go into communities. We go into the communities and figure out what's the market in the community.
Yeah.
What's the thing in the community that's going to make this kid even more marketable? So it
Yeah.
might be manufacturing in Mansfield and culinary in Columbus,
Wow. Okay.
right? And so you're going to
Hmm.
have different programs depending on where you are.
Sure.
You go to Dayton, maybe it's not as big of a culinary market, but
Hmm.
construction is a really big market there. And then
Wow.
here's what we do in all of our markets. We
Hmm.
get what's called workforce advisory committees, where we go into the industries in the communities and say, come into our schools and tell us what we're doing right. Tell us what we're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Tell us what equipment is outdated, and it works. We have organizations that will come in and say, hey, you know that saw that you're using?
Hmm.
We haven't used that in years.
Wow.
Use this one.
Hmm.
And here's the kicker. If you use this one and get this kid certified on it, I'll hire him or her. Like, say less.
Right, exactly. Okay. Thank you very. We're doing this, and now we've got a path for this kid.
And
Wow.
it happens that way, and it is absolutely incredible, the results that we have when our students are able to walk out of our buildings and walk right into their careers.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Would you speak? I want you to speak to a couple of people, whatever you want to say. First, I want you to speak to the communities that don't have it, that see the problems and all they're doing is this. Speak to them, would you?
I would absolutely. Um, the reality of it is that we are in a space right now in our society that we have lots of misinformation. So the first thing that
Mm-hmm.
I would speak to people is to do your research.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you understand what is being said and what things are. Like for instance, it surprises people when I tell them that my schools are public high schools. Like
Wow.
we are a public high school. We are a charter school, but we are a free and public charter school. And I would tell people that, quite frankly, our schools are not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
No school is for everybody, right?
Right.
What we have done is provide an option for folks to see if this is for you, see if
Mm-hmm.
this would work for your student, see if our flexibility and the way that we do things with our students and our social and emotional focus, like, are these the things that's missing for your student to be successful? And if it is, give us a try and then hold us accountable for what we're promising you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and understand that these are results and this is successes that are replicable. Like
Yeah.
you can repeat this. We have done it in 22 different markets.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have one of our schools in your market and you're not convinced about it, just go to that school and say, Randy Smoot said I can come and take a tour. And I promise you, when you do, you're going to walk out and go, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So that's what I would speak to those folks and say,
Mm-hmm.
just know that our schools aren't for everybody because no school is,
Mm-hmm.
and that education should be individualized and specific to your student and what
Yeah.
your student needs and what your family needs, and
Yeah.
see if we can provide that. And if we
Mm-hmm.
can't, we will do everything in our power to help you find the one that can.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Would you speak to the student out there?
Mhm,
I'm gonna almost get emotional, but because that student out there that's hurting, that doesn't think that they have any hope,
mhm,
that's just like, why am I even doing that? Just for whatever reason happened to land. I believe the Lord brought them to this episode to watch this and hear you speak to that person.
I will. I want to speak to the 25-year-old you. I want to speak to the
Mm,
30-year-old you. I want to speak for the 25 and 30-year-old you and say, give your current iteration of you a chance. Sacrifice now. It will pay dividends in the future. I want to speak to that
mm,
student and let that student know there is absolutely a chance. It is not too late.
mm,
We have done remarkable things with the help of students who are ready to make that sort of transition, and that you absolutely can do it. There is something out there, whether it's one of our schools, whether it is a different school, whatever it is, somebody is out there that is ready to help you be successful if you're ready for it. And if it is one of our schools, just know that the sky's the limit and that we
mhm,
can be as flexible as we need to make sure that you get everything that you need in order to be successful. We've done a ton of different things for different students and different families.
mm,
And so if you're out there and you need a home, you need a place to go to school that is not like your traditional district, that doesn't have the same schedule, that may have to change on a dime to meet your needs,
mhm,
I promise you, we are out there. And there are other schools that are out there too. There are other opportunities that are out there too, not just ours. But don't give up because there are tons of opportunities for you. And it is never
mhm.
too late. It is never too late. And 25-year-old you and 30-year-old you will be thanking you if you make that decision today. I promise you that.
I love it. I love it. Wow. We should have probably ended with that one because that's just whoa. Could you speak now also to the government leaders, the people that maybe aren't aware that you're here? You hear about, all over the state, we're concerned about truancy and blah, 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 and how do we address this? But you have answers. Can you
No,
speak to those? Yeah.
I will absolutely. Ironically, a colleague of mine, Chris Galacy Worrell, who was
Mhm.
a 50 Can fellow as well. She was
Oh,
in the cohort right before ours.
okay.
She spoke on Capitol Hill last week.
Mm,
And so they got a chance to hear from our organization. Like they got a
yeah.
chance to know that we are out here. But what I would want to say to them is this: everybody who is in this world of public service, we know how important education is. We know how important it is for students to be able to learn and to be educated. Um, I would say to those folks to just be open minded to the idea that it doesn't look the same for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and that what's the need for one student may be a completely different need for another student, and that we need to all be in this thing together. Whether you're a traditional school, whether you're a home school, whether you're a charter school, whether you're a magnet school, whatever it is, as long as we have the same guiding force of
Mm-hmm.
doing what's best for students and their families and making sure that they can be successful, then we need to coalesce around each other. We need to
Yeah.
stop fighting. We need to stop pointing fingers and figure out how is it that we are able
Mm-hmm.
to serve,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then also make sure that we can support each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this space, the more things help to bridge the gap, the less the
Mm-hmm.
gap is going to be.
Yeah.
And I think that if we are able to do that from a governmental standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be great. I am super blessed being in Ohio. We have
Yeah.
our issues. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. We have our
Yeah.
issues,
Yeah.
but we're not fighting over this. Like this isn't a
Right.
fight that we're having. Like
It's
and
so
and
good. So
our
good.
our governor is really supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Our local officials are relatively supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I think we all have that same common goal of making sure we do what's best for students and families in their
Yeah.
education. And for us, particularly, really putting an emphasis on the trades
Yeah.
and on placement, it's been
Mm-hmm.
a game changer. So I would say to those officials, continue to invest in the trades, continue to
Yeah.
invest in students for all students. Because, like I tell people, my personal son and daughter
Mm-hmm.
will have access to all of these things. They will. They'll have it very easily,
Mm-hmm.
but it's important for all students to have it.
Yeah.
It's important that every student should have access to this, not just the more fortunate ones. It should be available for everybody.
I love it. I love it. Quick question also is what does the alumni look like? Do they have opportunities to reach back or tell me what that looks like?
It's a great question. And if you go to
Yeah.
any one of our websites, you actually will see alumni videos because we tend to
Oh,
do alumni videos every year.
yay.
And we do. We when we have open houses, we invite our alumni back. Our schools are starting to do like homecoming dances. And because I will tell you this,
Yeah.
when you're 15 to 21,
Hmm.
historically it was 18, 19, 20-year olds who had dropped out, who came back. Cool,
Hmm.
it's easy. But when you get a 15-year-old in your school,
Hmm.
you better have prom and you better have homecoming
Right,
and you better
right.
have some, because they come with some expectation. You're gonna have
Yeah.
to have some dances.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
so
love it.
we've really started to incorporate some of those things.
It's so
We're
good.
incorporating homecoming so that
Hmm.
our former grads can come back. All of our doors are generally open, but here's an amazing thing that is a again, this is a brand promise for all of our schools.
Yeah.
If when you graduate for a full year
Hmm.
after your graduation, our placement specialist is checking in with you monthly to
I
see how you're
love
doing,
that. I
to see
love
how that
that.
job is going, to see if you need anything. But then here's the
Wow.
kicker. Here's the even better part. We're also checking in with your employer. Hey, how can we help you with this kid? Is anything going on? Because here's the reality. If this student comes to you and they're on the construction site and they won't put their phone up, you may not have the relationship yet, but you can call me and say, Mr. Smoot, you brought me this kid and he won't put his phone up. And I can call
Mm.
him and go, yo, put your phone up.
Hmm.
Like, what are you doing? And
Right,
that
right.
relationship helps us stay connected to our alumni. It
I
helps
love
us to keep that network.
that.
And now
Hmm.
when we send another kid to that place,
Hmm.
right? Now our former student can help our newer student get acclimated
I
to the
love it.
culture,
I love
understand what's
it.
going on, and it just
I love
becomes a
it.
whole network. So that's
I
something that
love
we
it.
are committed to. All of our schools have it. If you graduate from us, you can expect that for a full year at least,
Hmm.
someone will be calling you once a month saying, "How are you doing? Do
I
you need
love that.
anything?"
I
Yeah,
love that. I love that.
yeah,
What I hear in that is authentic community. I
for
hear
sure.
that that it's real. It's not just what we do on paper. We're living it. We're doing it. I love that. All right. So as we close, the floor is yours. Anything else that you would like to share that's on your heart? Um, it's your floor.
Yeah, no, and I first of all, I want to thank you.
Oh,
you're incredible, and the work that you're doing and the energy. It's just from the first day I met you, I was like, listen, I don't know where she's getting this energy from, but I need some of it. It's phenomenal. So thank you
Oh,
so much for your work, and that really does speak to what I want to talk to your listeners about, and really
hmm
just in general is that through this year, through 50 Can and the fellowship.
hmm
What I realize is that we are not on islands. We are not
right.
doing this thing alone. There are so many people out here working tirelessly to make sure that we provide really good, robust educational experiences for so many of our families and so many of our students. And I just want to thank all those people. I want to thank all the people who are doing this work with us
Mhm.
because we are doing this work, and it is really God's work that we're doing.
Yeah.
And to let people know that whatever we can do to continue to support each other, to
Yeah.
continue to support the students and what they need and the families, that we should continue to do it because the investment that we make today in our
hmm
students is going to pay off immensely in the future.
For sure.
And so I
For
just want to
sure.
thank all the educators out there who are doing this work, and really for the students in Ohio and in Des Moines, Iowa, and
hmm
in Michigan. If you
Michigan.
find a Oakmont school
hmm
and you think that it is appropriate for you, think it's the right fit for you, come in and give us a try. Come in and
Yeah.
just take a tour and see if there's anything that we can provide for you, and if there's any organizations or partners out there that feel like we could be of some assistance to you, or if
Yes.
we can do any sort of partnerships, please reach out to me, reach out to our organization, because we are truly in this to make sure that we provide whatever the educational opportunities that are necessary for these students and their families. So I appreciate you. Thank you
I
so
love
much for
it.
having me.
I love
Um,
it. Oh
and
my
yeah, I
goodness.
love what you're doing for sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Randy. Now, as we close, people I know are going to want to contact you. Can you please give us all the ways that folks can get in touch with you, get in touch with Oakmont Education?
Yeah, so again, it's oakmontedu.org is our website. I have the weirdest picture in the world on there. So if you go to the website and you see my picture, you're literally going to say, why is this guy cheesing like that? It's just how I smell. I don't know. But my personal email address is R as in Randy, SMOOT. So rsmoot at oakmontedu.org. Again, that is on the website as well. Um, you can go to any one of our schools. You can send any one of our schools
Mhm.
messages on any of their social media platforms. If you're wondering whether or not you've come across one of our schools, all of our logos are the exact same. It's an orange circle with an exclamation. And so if you see one of those schools, you'll go, "Hey, that Randy guy was talking about that." Yep. Go
Mhm.
ahead and click the button and see what it's all about. And then Kim, also, I'll make sure that you have all of my information as well.
Yes,
If
we'll have
we
all of
can
that in the description.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll
we
put
can
all
put it in the
that.
description.
hmm
And I welcome anyone to contact me. You can
Yeah.
text me, you can call me, you can email me if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them or just have a chat. Because again, I love talking about this work. I love talking about these students and love talking about these schools.
Yeah.
So anything I can do, I'll be more than happy to.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Randy. Thank you for just the incredible work that you're doing, the lives that you are changing day in, day out, year in, year out. It is incredible. It is impactful. It is so needed. And I'm grateful to you for all that you're doing. So
Thank
thank you
you
for
so
being with
much.
me. Thank you for sharing Oakmont. And everybody, you've heard it. Go check out Oakmont Education. Go see the amazing things that they're doing. Be a part of it. Find ways. I'm going to encourage you to find ways to contribute to what they're doing. What they're doing is such needed and such impactful work. And listen, you're going to benefit from it in the long haul. You are. You're going to need those trades. You're going to need these kids. So, again, thank you, Randy. Grateful to
Thank you
have you
so
here.
much. I
Okay,
appreciate you.
thanks.